Debbie, let's bring you in because, of course, nature has become such an interesting word. Should we trust Lammy when he's talking about the word nature?
Oh, well, good afternoon, everyone. And yeah, well spotted, Brian. It's the word nature, because everyone's focusing on the word climate. And where are all our politicians? They've only just come back from summer holidays, and now they're all at the conferences, which is where David Lammy, I'm presuming, is going to be as well. But it doesn't mean to say there's nothing happening. And back on the 30th of August, we reported on the news about tradable energy quotas, which really means carbon rationing. But how are they going to introduce this carbon rationing to us all? Well, I want to introduce you to Alex Sobel. He's a Labour MP for Leeds Central and Headingley. He's married with 2 kids, and his background is social enterprise. He set up the Net Zero All Parliamentary group to help secure low carbon. And he was Shadow Minister for Nature Recovery. There's that word again, nature recovery. But he's gone on to do great things. He's not actually in the government at the moment, which is interesting. However, he's gone on to do great things. And here he is being awarded with the prestigious Nature 230 award. There he is pictured with none other than Chris Packham. But let's listen to him putting a question to the Levelling Up Secretary. Only recently in April. Now, he speaks quite quickly and he's quite passionate, but he's talking about zero carbon homes. Have a listen.
Today is Earth Day. The government introduced the Zero Carbon Homes Standard and then scrapped it. The Code of Sustainable Homes and then scrapped it. We now have the Future Home Standard, which I support, but local authorities such as Leeds want to go above in planning policy to higher standards. Why will the Secretary of State not allow Leeds to build even better zero carbon homes?
Better zero carbon homes. Well, shortly after that, he brought out the Climate and Nature Bill, which is a private member's bill. Now, this was only brought out in May this year. Now, who's heard of the Climate Nature Bill? Because I'll explain why you haven't heard about it in a minute. But when we look further into it, let's look at the passage of the bill. So currently, at the moment, it's only in the first stage. However, if we look further into the bill, we can see that what the aim of the bill is to do is to get the UK to achieve climate and nature, there's that word again, nature targets, to give the Secretary of State a duty to implement a strategy to achieve this target. So what is this duty of the Secretary of State? So the duty of the Secretary of State basically is within 12 months of passing of this act, they have to lay before Parliament a strategy to limit the UK carbon dioxide emissions. Well, I guess that probably includes us, as we're humans and we emit carbon dioxide. And we're also going to be ending the extraction of exploration and fossil fuels as rapidly as possible to minimise damage to ecosystems. But the bill goes on to say that we should prioritise avoidance, the loss of nature. We have to adhere to mitigation and conservation hierarchy. Now, I'm not quite sure who those are in the hierarchy, although I think we might come on to find out. But the strategy must not have a negative impact on poorer communities or deprived communities or young people. But they do note here that financially they are going to need to support those whose livelihoods will be affected. So could we be looking at the introduction of universal basic income, I wonder, as a form of compensation? So how do the public get involved? Because this is really important, isn't it? How the public gets involved. Well, within 3 months of the passing of this act, apparently they're going to set up a climate and nature assembly where they're going to sample the UK population. Now, this assembly is going to be considering expert advice. We'll come on to that later in the news and see what expert advice they're going to be given. But they're going to need to have a majority of 66%. Interesting statistic there. 66% a majority to rule on what's going to be included in the strategy for the rest of us. And who does it cover? Well, it covers all of us, the UK, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, the whole country. And here's the bill itself. We've got, there you go. It's covering all of us. So every single person in the UK watching, it's applicable to us. Here's the bill, which was introduced on the 21st of the 3rd, 24 by Alex Sobel, who you've just seen. And then you've got another few familiar names, Ed Davey, Catherine Lucas, the normal bunch that you would think would be involved in a green agenda. But who are 0 hour? Because this Climate and Nature Bill has been abbreviated to the CAN Bill, CAN. Why do we need the CAN Bill? Why is this so important? Well, I can tell you why, because in the next slide, we're going to show you that the government's actually been very deceptive and duplicitous, I believe, because this was formerly known as the Climate and Ecology Bill. But almost by stealth, they've now called it the Climate and Nature Bill. And they note that this is the only proposed legislation before the United Kingdom Parliament that ensures a comprehensive joined-up approach to emergencies. So who have they got? Well, they've got 170 MPs supporting them. They've got 63 peers supporting them. They've got the largest cross-party environmental group in Parliament. Not just that, they've got a load of scientists backing them as well. And here you can see 1,000+ scientists are calling on MPs to prioritise the CAN bill. And you'll see a picture of them outside Parliament, all very much pro this CAN bill, because they want to fast track it or super turbo charge it. So how can you be involved in accelerating CAN? Have a look at this video from 0 Hour.
We can prevent catastrophe by shifting to a zero carbon economy in a way that protects jobs and upgrades our democracy. That's where the bill comes in. It's been written with help from top scientists. Now we need Parliament to make it law, and for that it needs the support of a majority of MPs. The bill will protect and restore forests, soils and ecosystems. It will require the government to rapidly reduce our entire carbon footprint. This means taking responsibility for emissions from imports and dealing with the environmental damage caused by our supply chains.
So there you have it, Zero. There's a longer video online. Please go and look at it because they're a very active group. But if you want regular updates and you want to find out more, then go no further than looking at Grassroots check-in, where they meet every Tuesday to give you an update. I'm sure you'll all be flocking there.
Debbie, thank you very much for that. Well, once you know where to look for the political agenda, it's easy to see, and this is what we need to be saying to our audience. Once you see it, spread the word, warn other people, and get digging, because, of course, information you find can be extremely helpful to us, and we can help promote that. Now, I just want to say that we would like people to spend a little bit more time on the website. There's a huge amount of material on the website. Mike has produced this little interactive to say, of course, on the website itself, you can see other channels such as X that we're now working on. So there's a lot of information in the website. If you want to support us, click there. But also we're selecting information which we think is important, sometimes very old articles, but which are now very relevant or highly relevant in today's political world, under editor's choice. So you can have a look there. We've also got a comment section. And of course, where a particular interview is taking place, we're also enabling people to share it and make comments. So this is all very important to actually get information out and to help people stay interested in the material. So if you're used to watching us on another channel and you just watch the news, we'd encourage you to go to the website and have a look. And of course, the other key thing is if you do go to the website, you can choose to make a donation or to actually join us as a full-time member, £5 a month or £50 a year or £500 for a UK column lifetime membership. And if you do, this is so important because, of course, this actually keeps us operating, and we want to grow and expand what we're doing. Plus, it gives us some reserves if we're challenged in the future. We're also highlighting the shop here, so you can support us by making a purchase, or indeed you can make a health purchase via Clive de Carl, who we've been supporting. Now, we've got an interview coming up tomorrow, which I think is one of yours, Debbie, if you can give us a little bit more on this one. Dr. Robin Kelly?
I think I might have lost a day there, Brian, because that was shown yesterday. It's Friday today. The weekend is upon us. Yet this is the wonderful Dr. Robin Kelly. He is actually a member of UK Column. He's in New Zealand, trained in the UK. He's how everybody wants a GP to be, seriously. If you don't trust GPs or you don't trust doctors, you're going to trust this one. The Presence, Dr. Robin Kelly. Please watch. It's very uplifting.
Okay, thank you for picking me up on that. Of course, it's because I'm not normally doing a Friday, so my head's usually in a Monday mode, but that's fine. Now, we also just wanted to put out an ad here for an interview with Ben Rubin and Diane Rasmussen-McCaddy. That's going to be 12 o'clock UK time this coming Saturday, tomorrow even, and that'll be on pattern18substack.com, which is Ben Rubin's own channel, so you might like to have a look at that. Now, let's